I'm excited that you've taken this time to join us um, this morning and to be a part of our monthly webinar. You know, when I put together these webinars and I go to select the topic and everything, uh, sometimes I feel like that I'm guessing as to the topic. And when it came to the topic for today, which to me is a very, very, very important topic because what we're going to be talking about today is the idea of becoming the authentic you. And when I picked this topic, um, it was just something that was heavy on my heart um, that I wanted to talk to you about. And so I'm one that when I do things, I'm one that looks for verification that what I'm doing is right. And it wasn't long after I picked the topic that I got a couple of phone calls from a couple of different people that to me were just confirmation that these were the right topics. There was one that came, and I'm going to change the names so that um, I don't embarrass anybody. But there was one from Kathy, and we talked for a while before she got to where she wanted to get to. And she was talking to me about some questions she had about life, about her life. And the essence of what she was talking to me about was why is it so difficult to be whom you really want to be in your life? And I think that's a challenge that a lot of people go through, that this is your life and it's your life to design. But sometimes in the process of living, um, there's one part of us that says, this is what I want. But then there's that other little inner voice inside of you that really creates doubts about whether this is the right direction for your life or not. And then she was always also talking to me about why do we give our life to others to design? And I think that that is a very, very important question because I've met a lot of people over the years and I've worked with a lot of people through my mentoring program that this is one of the big things that they're challenged by, that it is their life. But for some reason, they tend to pay more attention to what others feel their life ought to be or what others feel they should do with their life. And they listen to them. And in the process of doing that, they work to turn off that inner voice that seems to be saying, but this is not what you were put on this earth to do. This is not the life that God intended for you. And then there were two more questions that came out of our conversation. Why is being yourself so frightening? And again, I think that that is a very, very valid question. And I think if I were to answer that question, I would tell you that it goes back to something that I've been talking to you about over the past few months. And it's something that I believe is foundationally important to you being the authentic you. You've heard me talk about that there are only two foundations you can stand on in life. One foundation is based upon your belief, your trust, and your faith in yourself. And the other foundation is based on you living in a world where you doubt, you worry, and you're guided by uncertainty. And if you live in that design where you're guided by doubt, worry, and uncertainty, every time that inner voice that wants you to have belief, trust, and faith in yourself speaks up because that voice is all about you being the authentic you. If that other part of doubt, worry, and uncertainty is stronger, then it creates that fear that keeps you from stepping into the world that is really there for you. And then I thought when she ended, it was a very, very interesting and pointed statement. And the statement was this: Richard, I don't want to get to the end of my life and have to admit that I missed being me. Now, on the screen there at the bottom of our title page, there's a little statement. When you know whom you are, you have a purpose and a direction for your life. When you don't know whom you are, you're trapped at whatever place you think you are. There's so much power in that statement. And then yesterday, I had a conversation with Helen. And I've known Helen for several years. And Helen and I were working together through my mentoring program. And I became too challenging for her. The questions that I would put to her to try to help her break through this room of confusion that she was living in. And as much as she talked about wanting to break free, her behavior said she didn't. And I hadn't heard from Helen in probably about 3 years. And then out of the blue, she called me. And so our conversation was about this: Richard, why has it taken 48 years for me to discover that it's okay to be me? She said, you talked to me about this and I resisted it. And I fought it. And she says, I think one of the reasons that I fought it, that growing up, I was always taught to make sure that I work to fit in, that I take care of others, and not to be selfish about what I want for my life. And she said, recently I have awakened to the fact that I have been living to sacrifice self in order to fit in, to always be there to take care of people, and not to have a people talk that I'm selfish because I have a life that I want. And she says, I have now realized through dealing with the empty feeling that I've been living with. And anytime you're not being the authentic you can push it aside, you can try to avoid it, but there's an empty feeling that goes with that. And she says, this life that I've been living has left me unfulfilled. And she said, it's left me wanting my life to be my life. And she said, the truth is, up to recently, I've been afraid to be honest with myself. But it's now come to the place where what I want is I want my life to be my life. And she says, I've relived so many of the conversations we've had. And she says, I knew there was a reason that God put you in my life. But she says, I just wasn't ready to hear it. And I find this true sometimes with some of the people that come to me and want me to be their mentor. And you know that I'm not a coach, because I'm not going to help you fix your life. That I'm more of a guide. That I'm going to ask you the questions that you need to be asked, whether you want to hear them or not. Like one man told me one day, he said, Richard, he said, I'd give anything in the world to work with you. And he says, it's not a financial thing. He says, it's fear. He says, I know that if I do what I know I need to be doing, and that is to work with you, that you're going to ask me questions that I have been avoiding for years. And folks, there's the life that you were put on this earth to have. And then there's the life that you choose to have. So, who are you? Do you really know? What's the purpose of your life? And is it your purpose? Are you really you? Or are you someone lost in the opinions of others? See, I think there are lots of people out there that are jealous of your life. And that makes them your critic, but yet they come across as your friend. So many people, and some of you who are here today are like this. Inside of you, you have a dream. And that dream is something that you've had for a long time. And it's something that you keep staring at, but you don't do anything about because you're afraid. You know how many people are taught that it's wrong to be selfish? And it depends on how you look at the word selfish. I am selfish, and I don't apologize for it. I have a purpose for my time here on this earth. Now, did I always know what that purpose was? No, because I was guided too much by trying to prove to my mother that who she saw me as and whom she worked to program me to be was not the authentic me. And most of you know my life story, and you know that when I was a sophomore in college, I went home to confront my mom and dad, and my mother took one look at me and walked out the back door, got in her car, and drove off. And I'll tell you, that was the greatest day of freedom I've ever had in my life because it was a wake up call. It was a call that said, as long as I tried to prove my mother's opinions of me wrong, I was actually giving her control of my life. And once I realized that, and I took that deep breath, then I started this quest in life of understanding who is Richard Flint? What's the purpose of his life? Am I living to be me or to be what other people think I should be? Because when you don't have a purpose, you're lost. And let me tell you something, and you may have to think this through, but when you don't have a purpose, you drop out of life because life is about living with fulfillment. It's not about lasting in existence. And the only way that you and I will ever live in the fulfillment that there is for our life is when we're willing to take that deep breath, look at our life, and ask ourselves, am I really being me? Or am I the composite of what other people have told me I should be? And I'll tell you, it takes strength to be authentic. So look at our thought that's going to guide us today. If you don't know who you are, how can you become the you were placed on this earth to be? Now, that's a pretty introspective question. If you look in the mirror and you're not sure who you're looking at, and you look at you and there is a sense of unfulfillment, if there's a sense of disappointment in the life that you're living, if there's that feeling that, you're right now, you're lost and you seem to be wandering through this time that you have, then do you really know who you are? It's your life to live. And folks, that's not a statement, that's a command. God didn't put us on this earth to be a composite of what people want us to be. We're here to be the authentic you. It's your life to design until you give control of your life away. This is why these two foundations are so important to me. That in that foundation of doubt, worry, and uncertainty, you give control of your life away because you don't have the belief, the trust, and the faith in yourself to step out as the authentic you. So if you don't know who you are, how can you become the you were placed on this earth to be? It's your life to live. It's your life to design until you decide to give control of your life away. So here's the upfront question. If you look in the mirror right now, who's in control of your life? Hmm? Is it your life? And you're being the authentic you. You're being the person who's living with a sense of fulfillment, with a sense of purpose, with a direction that every day brings you the happiness and the joy that life is about. So let's go to my dictionary. Some words that are critically important for us to understand. Life, the space between the day you were born and the day you will die. Now, we don't know how long that space is going to be, but whatever that space between the day we were born and the day we die is, we get to fill in the blank. We get to design whom we bring into this sphere of living that we have. Growth. Each day putting one foot in front of the other. Can you say you do that? Can you say that you are living a life where you've not dropped out of life? You've not dropped out of learning. But every day you're investing yourself and being able to put one foot in front of the other with meaning. You know that tomorrow at 10 a.m., I'm going to be unveiling my 5-year dream, and that's going to be my learning center. And it's something I've wanted for a long time, but I couldn't do it by myself. And with the help of Troy and Denise and Brian and many other people, we've been able to bring this learning center into a experience of growth. And tomorrow we're going to, at 10 a.m., we're going to unveil my learning center. And I hope that you have signed up to be there for the unveiling. I mean, can you remember a time whenever you achieved a dream? Can you remember the energy, the excitement, everything that went with it? And I am so excited about tomorrow, but I'm also very anxious about tomorrow because I know that this learning center is about providing you with the pathway to becoming the authentic you with the classes that are there, to provide you with growth where every day you are strengthening yourself from the inside out because you're challenging yourself with information. You, the person you see yourself as. Now, it's not the person that other people see you as. You is the person you see yourself as because that's how you live. If I study your life, I understand, I see that all of your behavior is designed to demonstrate who you see yourself as. Then our word authentic. The you are at the core of your beliefs. Now, I'll tell you, every one of us have beliefs about ourselves. And those beliefs are created by whether we live in a world where we doubt ourselves, we worry about ourselves, we're uncertain about ourselves, or we live in that world where, because of our belief, we trust in who we are and we have the faith that there's more for our life and we're not willing to settle for less. Because every day of your life, your behavior is a demonstration of the beliefs that you have about you. And then the dangerous you. And that person does exist, and it does exist inside of us. The dangerous you is the person you are when you go against your core beliefs. You have those conversations, don't you? Well, this is what I really should do. But you know what? I'm not confident enough to do it. Or your dream is just it's just sending you pictures of what you should be doing. But because you don't live in that world where you really believe, trust, and have faith in yourself, what you do is you work against yourself and you become dangerous. So every day, rather than investing the time that you have, you either take that time and you waste it, you abuse it, or you spend it in a world where you make excuses, a world where there's blame, a world where there's justification. And every day you work against being the authentic you. The only life that will breathe life into you is when you are being the authentic you. So, what is it that causes people to work against their self? Making decisions you know are wrong. You've been there, haven't you? We all make decisions sometimes that we know are wrong, but we give ourselves permission to do them. So, what do? We give ourselves permission to do what we know we should not be doing. And it makes us dangerous to ourselves, always looking for an excuse or a point of blame. You think that doesn't make you dangerous to yourself? You think that doesn't take away your authenticity? Keeping people in your life that are a wrong fit. You have those people. It's one of the things that Helen was saying to me. She said, Richard, she said, when I made the decision that I want to be me, she said, one of the first things I had to do, I had to look at the people in my life. And she said, what has happened is that in that commitment to being the me that I know I am supposed to be, I've had to eliminate people from my life, or I've had people who have said to me, I don't know you anymore, and I don't like this person you're becoming. And she said, in the past, if someone said that to me, I would fight to keep them in my life. But she said, I no longer fight to keep them there. You know my philosophy of life? Never keep anyone in your life who's not part of your fan club. And people who don't support you are a wrong fit, and they're there to keep you from becoming the authentic you. What makes you dangerous to yourself? Everything is viewed from a platform of negative. You know this because you've probably been there in your life. You can take anything that is positive and turn it into a negative. You know that, right? Because you've done that. You've had something happen in your life, and it's something that you've said you wanted, and because the doorway is there and it's right there in front of you, but because you don't have that solid foundation of that belief, that trust, and your faith in yourself, what do? You close the door with your behavior. And then you do what Helen said. I spend my life not being whom I was put on this earth to be. Since you have no value. I was having this conversation yesterday with a young lady, and she was saying, she said, you know what? I don't know why I'm on this earth. I don't have any value. And you know what's interesting? When you don't know what your value is, that's when you form a dependency on other people to define whom you are. You're dangerous when you don't understand that you do have value. Accept it or not. And man, this is hard for some people. You are exactly in your life where you want to be. And this is probably one of the statements that people fight me the most on. Richard, I don't want to be here. Then why do you accept being there? Well, I don't have any other choice. Yes, you do. There's always a choice. The challenge is sometimes that choice is smothered with fear. And we know exactly what we need to do. But the fear of doing it is so great. You know something? If you wait until the right time to make a decision, you'll never make a decision. If you wait for the right time to do what you know you need to do with your life, if you wait for the right time, you'll never make that decision. Look at your life. Is this where you want to be with your life? Are you doing what you want to do with your life? Are you being authentic? Or Are you an actor in someone else's play? See, I believe that God has a plan for your life. I don't think you're here by accident. I don't think you were born by accident. I don't think you're a person without talent, without value, without purpose. There's a plan for your life. But the reality is, you cannot see or achieve his plan for you as long as you are running from yourself. What are you running from? You're running from being the authentic you. So for me, this raises a question. How do most people run from self? So, can we use this as a checklist and see if you do any of these behaviors? Are you running from yourself? Are you running from honestly facing where you are in your life? The past is where you choose to stay. Which aspect of your life do you give the most attention to? Working in today to create the pathway to tomorrow, or standing in today with one foot in yesterday? And you're allowing that foot that you have in yesterday to be the foundation for the decisions that you're making today. Anyone who is using yesterday as a living room is trapped in where they've been. How do most people run from self? Each day in their life is excuse driven. You've met these people. Hmm? Everything in their life has a point of blame. They have an excuse for everything that they know they should be doing, but they're not doing. And it's an excuse. And an excuse is a means to avoid being honest. Hmm? How do most people run from self? Opportunities turned into obstacles. Their life is given the opportunity to put one foot in front of the other. It's right there for them. But they can justify that the timing is not right. They can justify the excuse. How do people run? Procrastinate with what they know they must do. Man, procrastination is a hostage taker. Procrastination is a thief that clouds your life, overwhelms your life, takes over control of your life. And you know that this year we were scheduled to do my small group retreat on decluttering your clutter, which I think is one of the most important aspects of life that you have to get to in order to become authentic. You have to face your clutter design. And clutter is the parent to procrastination. How do people run? They listen to the soothsayers and believe them. The crowd around their life, their sphere of influence around their life are people who want to control them, people who want to have power over them, people who want to own their presence. And if you don't have that solid foundation of belief, trust, and faith in yourself, you listen to them. And what do? They make you doubt. They make you worry. They make you feel uncertain because they keep dumping their negative opinions on you. And because you are not internally strong, you turn your life over to them. How do you run? You extract the wrong from the right. There's always a right to learn. But if I don't want to learn it, what am I going to do? I'm going to turn the right into a wrong and use the wrong as the justification for not doing what I know I need to do. If you really want to be successful, okay? If you really want to be successful, it must begin with you being the authentic you. Now, if you want to be that authentic you, I think there are 9 laws that you have to lay at the foot of your life. And these are not principles, these are not opinions, but these are 9 laws. And laws are the strength of belief that you have to have in order to withstand the winds of life that come at you, that don't want you to be the authentic you. And these laws are important. And these are laws that I help people when I work with them. These are some basic foundations that we bring to their life. And what happens in that, then they have a pathway, they have an understanding. They know that they can stand on these laws. And by putting these laws into their life every day, they're working to become the authentic them. There are 9 of them. Law number 1, always face your life with honesty, total honesty. Now, you think that's always easy? No. Because to be totally honest with yourself, you have to have the inner strength to see yourself from the inside out, not the outside in. Because from the outside in, we're guided by what we're seeing externally. By living from the inside out, we're being honest with whom we are. Without you being honest with you, there's only consistent confusion about whom you really are. Been there, done that? Struggled with that? When you are honest with you, you can see who the authentic you really is. So, are you the person you really want to be? Are you living with total honesty about you? Are you willing to admit what you need to admit about the things that you're allowing to hold you as a hostage in your own life? Are you willing to say, enough of being what everyone wants me to be? And yes, there's a price tag to it. Yes, it may cost me some people in my life. But I don't want to get to the end of my life and say, I missed being the authentic me. You're on this earth for a purpose. And to live that purpose, it has to start with you always being willing to face your life with total honesty. Law number 2, understand what behaviors make you your enemy. Do you understand that you're not always a friend to yourself? Do you understand that? Do you understand that sometimes you treat yourself with disrespect? Hmm? Do you understand that sometimes you bring behavior to your life that punishes you? And why do you do that? because you have brought a script into your life that's based in a world of doubting yourself, worrying about where you are, feeling uncertain about what you need to do. Your life is about the choices and decisions you make. Each choice creates behaviors. You must admit to the behaviors that keep you working against what you say you want. Ah, those three little words. Why? Because behavior never lies. Look at your life. Are you a friend to yourself? Does your behavior say that? Are you an enemy to yourself? Does your behavior say that? To become the authentic you, you have to have behaviors in your life that make you a friend to yourself. Law number three, take your life at a pace you can manage. I had an email from, if you've been in our normal question and answer class from Friday, um, Dennis Poulin is one of the people that's always there. And he was talking to me through an email day before yesterday about a situation. And part of his life said, you need to just speed up and leave this alone. But the other part, because of the growth. And Dennis is one of my mentoring students that I am so proud of, because Dennis, in the time that we've been working together, has come to understand the purpose, the meaning, the power of pace. The faster you seek to live your life, the bigger the mess you make for your life. Been there, done that, bought the t shirt. Pace is about managing your life rather than your life managing you. When you are managing your life, you will have a clearer picture of who the authentic you is. Hmm? Because when you are authentic, you understand that life is about walking, not about running. That life is about peripheral vision, not always only what's in front of you. And pace controls the sight plan you have in your life. Law number four, have the foundation of belief, trust, and faith in yourself, which allows you to continue to step forward, not get trapped in the circle of sameness. Do you understand that in the circle of sameness, it's impossible to be authentic? Because your whole life is about repeating, it's not about improving. When you don't believe in yourself, you give your life over to doubt. When you don't trust yourself, you fill your life with worry. When you don't have faith in yourself, you're uncertain about every decision you make. You ever wrestled with that? You ever struggled with that? Being the authentic you demands you have a strong picture of whom you are. How strong is your picture of yourself? Can you withstand doubt? Can you control worry? Can you replace uncertainty with the faith in yourself? It's that foundation of belief, trust, and faith that gives you the inner strength to not try to move while looking over your shoulder, but by every day going to the class of life, every day seeking out the opportunities where you can learn how to improve yourself. Hmm? Every day being part of my learning center, where it's designed to teach you how to become authentic, which will open the door to opportunities that you miss when you're not being the authentic you. Number 5, every day is lesson driven. You know that every day contains lessons. You'll never live a day without being presented the lessons. Lessons are where you have the opportunity to strengthen your belief, your trust in the faith that you have in yourself. Now, hear me. The stronger your foundation of self belief, trust, and faith, the easier it is to become the authentic you. That solid foundation keeps the waves of life from knocking you over. It doesn't mean that you're not going to be challenged. We're always being challenged. It just means that you have the foundation to see this as a test, a challenge to even make you stronger. Everything in life is a test, and that test is there to see what you really believe about you. How much trust do you have in your faith and yourself? Do you have the faith to continue to go forward when maybe there's that element of fear trying to hold you back? Law number 6, never stay where you don't belong. This is so critical. And this is what Helen came to realize. I'm trying to fit in. I'm trying to tell everybody in my life, come to me, plug into me, I'll take care of you. And then she realized that then with that design, she was an empty vessel. Yes, talented. One of the greatest marketing minds I have ever met. But she wasn't allowing that to become whom she was. So she realized, I got to leave that house. I got to go to my house. I got to make me a priority in my life. And yes, if it means being selfish, I'll be selfish, because in being mature in my selfishness, I am allowing myself to become better, to become authentic, and have greater value to people. When you stay where you don't belong, your value is taken away from you. Law number 7, talk all things through with yourself. Now, this may sound like a strange one, but this is one of the most powerful things you can ever do. Too many times we rely on other people rather than really talking things through with ourselves. Others have an opinion about whom you are and what you should do with your life. And you've had people tell you what you should be doing with your life. But this is your life to live and design. Never make a decision without talking things through with yourself. At your core, you will always know what is right for your life. When you see and choose the right path for your life, it strengthens your ability to be the authentic you. But you can't have that conversation of strength if you don't believe in, trust in, and have faith in yourself. And if I don't have those 3 things, then my worry, my doubt, my uncertainty is going to cause me to go to other people and ask them, what should I do? And then you're no longer you. You'll always know what is right for your life. You just sometimes don't want to hear it because it means you got to make an honest decision about where you are, who you are, and what you're doing. Law number 8, insist on being you. Hey, you're either the director of your life or an actor in someone else's play. Exclamation point. Which are you? The only place you will be authentic is when you are being the you that is strengthening your talents. You have those talents. You just don't believe you can do anything with them. You are here as an original, not a carbon copy of someone else's plan for your life. Hmm? Insist on being you. And then law number 9, commit to consistently working on you. Do you know that no life stands still? It's impossible. Life is constantly moving. The you that is moving is either moving forward with belief, trust, and faith, or it's going in circles where you are trapped in doubt, worry, and uncertainty. Growth is always moving forward, putting one foot in front of the other at a pace where you're learning and implementing the lessons life offers you. Learning the lessons and implementing them into your growth journey is where the authentic you will shine as a light to others. And please, please hear me say this. This is one of the things that has pushed me for the past 5 years to build this learning center, is to offer you a classroom of light, a classroom that's more than learning, a classroom of experiencing what the lessons really mean. It is a quiet center where there is going to be individual learning. But in the learning center, we're also going to have group classes where either myself or Peter got the air. We're going to challenge you. We're going to have group discussions. And in that learning center, I'm going to provide you with an arena, an environment where you can be committed to consistently working on you. When you drop out of the school of learning, you drop out of life and you step into existence. Don't you ever forget that. When you step out of the classroom of learning, you step in a world where you can't put one foot in front of the other because you don't have the insights to continue to challenge yourself. This learning center is not about answers. It's about direction. Commit to consistently working on you. Can you see the power in these 9 laws? Can you see how this can help you to become the authentic you? That's what I want for your life. I don't want you to get to the end of life or come to a place in life where you sit down and one day just say, you know what, this is not the life that I wanted. This is not the life that I was put here to have. But to have that authentic you life, you got to build it. You got to build it. Now, we have some very, very, very exciting things coming up and some new things. So don't run away because we've got some really exciting things that are coming up. One is our next training, our next webinar. And I am so excited about this one because our topic is going to be the future belongs to you. So you mark your calendar for January 7th at 10 a.m. And you join me for our January webinar. The future belongs to you. And then our open discussion on Friday, December the 11th. Here's our question. What are the top 3 things you want to achieve in 2021? You understand we're standing almost at the exit of 2020. And you can't wait till you get to 2021. You need to start thinking, what do I want to achieve in 2021? And that's going to be our discussion on December the 11th at 10 a.m. And then something new that I've added. I've wanted also for a while to do some really in-depth live training virtual seminars. And so in January, I've scheduled 2. On Saturday, January the 16th, 10 a.m., turning your goals into gold. There's not a one of us that hasn't been taught you need goals. And people write goals, but what do you do with them? So on January 16th, and the time that we're going to have together from 10 to 11:15, I'm going to show you a process that takes your goals from something you write on a page and how to take and implement that into behaviors that allow you to achieve them. It's not that I don't believe in goals. I believe in goals, but I believe we've taught it wrong. So I'm going to do probably one of the most in-depth trainings you've ever been through on turning your goals into gold. Now, there is an investment. It's $49. I have found over the years that sometimes if there's not a price tag, you don't see the value to it. And then on Saturday, January 30th, I'm going to build off of what we do on the 16th. And I'm going to give you a process that I promise you will allow you to have the greatest year of your life. A year is not what is thrown at you. A year is how prepared are you to handle, to deal with, to understand, to move through what life brings to you. Now, again, individual price $49. Or you can attend both seminars for $69, and our seating is limited. We're going to do this in a Zoom classroom. Now, you won't be able to register for these until after tomorrow, because tomorrow is when not only are we going to unveil the Learning Center, but you're going to see our new website. And so after 11 o'clock tomorrow, you can go and you can register for these January 16th, January 30th. 2 are probably the most in-depth seminars or virtual presentations you have sat through to prepare you to have the pathway to the greatest development of success for your life in the foundation we're going to lay in these 2 programs. And then tomorrow, the birth of my dream, the unveiling to you, my learning center. And that learning center has been designed for you. It's been designed to deal with the things in your life that you struggle with the most, that you don't know how to deal with. And there's 3 different tiers to our learning center that I will explain to you tomorrow. And then July 9, 10, and 11 next year, Star Maker. Our theme, because I can, I will. And you know, this will be our last Star Maker, because we're going to be moving to small group retreats where we're going to invite 15 people to come and have one-on-one experience with me and the other people that are there. And we'll be revealing some of these to you in dates so that you can mark them on your calendar. And then the Morning Minute, if you're not part of the Morning Minute, after 11 o'clock tomorrow, you can go and I'll give it to you for 21 days free so that you can experience it. So, my personal commitment. And I wrote this for me, but I want to share it with you. I know my life will have many ups and downs, many challenges, but I commit to always seeking the guidance from those who have been placed in my life to bring me clear sight when I am feeling blinded by life. And this is one of my purpose statements for my life. I want my light to bring brightness to others. I will be the authentic me. So I think it raises a big question for you. Are you really the authentic you? Can you say that? Is it what you want for your life? Are you mentally and emotionally and yes, spiritually prepared to do what you need to do to become that spiritual you and to become the authentic you? That's a question you only know the answer to. Thank you so much for spending this time with me. And I would love, I would love to hear what you have thought about today's points of wisdom for you. Would you share it with me? What you've taken away from it? Just email me at richard@richardflint.com. And just one more time, if you haven't, if you haven't registered for the unveiling of my learning center and our new website, please go to richardflint.com and sign up. Join us tomorrow. This is a celebration time tomorrow for me, and I would love for you to be part of this celebration of what the past 5 years of my life have been pointing toward. Let me know about today. Okay, richard@richardflint.com. I love you. I respect you. I'm glad to be in your life and for you to be in my life. And I always want to be someone who, because of my life, I am able to bring brightness to your life. And if I don't see you before, Merry Christmas and a happy, happy New Year. All right, my friends, see you later. Bye.